This video is going to show you how to draw number 3 as seen on Blackboard. So let's start by creating our drawing. I'm going to start with the front view this time and work my way out. So I'll start a new sketch on the front view and then hide all my planes. View normal to sketch plane. I'm going to start by drawing the rectangle that is 2.37 by 4.5. So I will draw a rectangle, click once, and then enter the dimensions. Now notice on the top right side of this rectangle there's an angle. So to draw that angle we're going to draw a line from the top to the side while making sure not to accidentally attach to any midpoint snaps. To dimension that line we will need to dimension the angle by clicking on the line and clicking on the reference line. And then that's 15 degrees. And then we can dimension the start point of the line by clicking on the edge here and the intersection here to reference that start point. And then we can draw the circle in this quadrant over here. So I'm just going to draw the circle somewhere, dimension it, and then to dimension how far away it is from each side, I can do that by clicking on the reference side first and then clicking on the center point of that circle. Again, click reference side, center point, and then that's done the base view. Now we can extrude that to the correct thickness. And remember, we don't want to extrude this part up here, so we're going to hold down Shift while selecting it, and it will unselect that part. And so then we're going to put in our depth, and the depth is 0.43. Now we have the front face of drawing number 3. To do the back portion that's going to stick out over here, it could be done the long way by drawing a rectangle on this surface and extruding it out. But instead we can actually rotate it around the back and put a sketch on this back surface here. And then all we need to do is create another rectangle that fits those dimensions again. Again, making sure not to snap to that midpoint. And this rectangle, we don't want to dimension this rectangle right now because it references other dimensions. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in the angle as well and not snap to the midpoint. So I'm going to over-exaggerate that angle so it doesn't reference any midpoints. Now I'll go back and dimension. So I see from the very back plane of my drawing to the very front plane, it sticks out 1.75. And it is too tall from the bottom plane. So from here to the very top, it's going to be 2. Notice how it brings it back in the shape. And then we see from the bottom plane to where my angle starts is 0.87. And then we see from this face to the angle is going to be 30 degrees. So again, I'll click the reference face, then the angle, and 30 degrees. And everything turns black, so you know it's been dimensioned correctly. By dimensioning this back face along this edge, we're able to see that we're going to be parallel to this surface, and we can extrude forward into the shape. We don't always have to build on another surface. And so we can see we don't want to extrude this corner here, so we shift click it. And if I rotate, I can see I'm going the wrong direction, and I don't want to go that way. I want it to go the other direction. So over here I'm going to say add, because I don't want to make a new piece. I want to add it to the old piece. And then I can click this that says opposite direction. And then I put in my depth of 0.43 again. And OK. Now let's go back to isometric view. So we can see that piece sticking out. And now all we have is that angled support piece, which is going to be down here on the bottom. Again, you could build out the shape and then cut part of it off, but I find it easier to just figure out which face it starts with, which would be down here on the bottom. So we can say new sketch here on the bottom of our surface. View normal. And then we just will have a line going from here to somewhere on this surface. Make sure you do not snap the midpoint. And now I can dimension that. And the reference line for that starts way back here to the intersection. And it's 2.5. I don't need to draw a line here or here, but because those edges already exist. So now I can say extrude. I'm going to say add. And I click inside the shape this time because the computer wasn't 100% sure where it wanted me to start. Change my direction, put in my depth of 0.43. And OK. And it's done.